Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to In the Garage. I trust all of you had a good and safe 4th of July. We had a little bit of company, done some grilling. Now we back at it. Yesterday's video was disassembling the passenger front door. And today we're going to be getting rid of some paint and getting it ready for priming or pour 15. We'll have to decide when we get the paint off of it. Bring you back when we get started. Alright guys, I thought we'd do something a little different this go around and show you the process for stripping paint. What I'm using here is like a polycarbonate, what it is, a plastic, hard plastic looking sponge, really, dipped in like a liquid polycarbonate, and got some abrasive, I guess, added to it. Things last forever, man. They're crazy cheap. I'll put a picture right here. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Right there it is. You can get them off eBay. You can get them at places, pretty much any auto store. Probably Harbor Freight, Northern Tool. Might even get them at Walmart, I don't know. There should be somewhere around $4 a piece, something like that. But I really like them because they do little to no damage to the metal. They will, if you just sit and dig in the same place, they will eventually cut a groove in the metal. But as long as you're moving around, they're really not going to affect the metal too much. And they last forever, like I said. I mean, if all I was doing was simply stripping paint, probably, if I had to guess, 2 of those would do the majority of an entire car. And they do good also stripping rust. I mean, the surface rust, it's not real invasive, man. It'll wipe that stuff out pretty quick. If you get into stripping really heavy rust, then it'll start using the wheel up a little bit faster. But for stripping paint, man, these things they're crazy good. They don't cause a lot of heat. They do cause heat, but nothing that's going to affect the sheet metal, nowhere near that temperature. You can lay your bare hand on the metal, so it's probably 110, 115 degrees or so. Beats, to me anyway, this is my opinion, it's much better if you're stripping sheet metal, your outer skin on the car. I'll do this any day of the week, twice on Sunday, if you're comparing it to sandblasting. I avoid sandblasting outer sheet metal on a car at all costs, unless it's a car that I'm just really not too worried about, and I'm not going to be doing some fancy paint job. Then maybe, but I try generally to stay away from sandblasting painted surfaces on a vehicle, like altogether, really, because one, it's very, very, very messy, very messy. And if I were to be sandblasting on a car, it would be something like the inner door, inner structure of the door, that faces the inside of the car, or door jambs, or maybe inner fenders, or something like that, that would be hard to clean otherwise, or hard to remove the paint otherwise. Door jambs, you'll find, have a lot of body lines in them a lot of times, and it's really hard to get in there with any type of mechanical way of removing paint, to get it really good and clean. So I may do some sandblasting there. The other reason I sort of avoid sandblasting on the automobile, other than the frame, the painted surfaces itself, is you just about can't get rid of the sand. I mean, it goes absolutely everywhere, and it's going to show up at, the most inopportunistic times, and can really wreak havoc on a paint job. So I avoid that. But I thought we'd do something a little different here. That's why I'm doing a voiceover and give you an idea of what I do to prepare a panel for paint. While I was stripping this, I'm always bragging on this car about how good a shape the body is in. Well, when you're stripping, you're constantly feeling, you're constantly rubbing the metal, and there are some dings. There in front of me to the left at the bottom, close to where the DA just was a pretty good one, actually, about 7 or 8 inches long. Not very deep at all. It looks like someone was backing up and just sort of gently brushed into something and sort of rubbed a line dent in it. And then up there where my right hand just was, there's a couple of little nickel size dings. But I'll show those when it comes, I think maybe the next video, not for sure, but I'll show those, and we'll do the body work on them and all that stuff. But it's pretty in depth, you know what I mean? Getting a panel ready for a paint job. And so if y'all enjoy this way of videos, let me know. I know this is something different, something I've never done, but if this is something y'all enjoy, leave me a comment. Let me know you want to see more of it, and I can definitely do it. That wouldn't be a problem at all. Okie dokie. We just got finished stripping the paint off this door and prepped it with the DA. And now we're going to start looking at the actual metal. So if you'll look here, we got a rust hole. And it's actually started to split the skin. The skin wraps around the edge and is spot welded. So it's actually started splitting the fold over, which is where you'll see a lot, because as they bend this, it thins the metal. So a lot of times when rust will start, you'll see it start here in the skin. Also, if you'll look right here, see if I can get you to focus, you'll notice that there's no light shining here and there's no light shining here. But let me notice the light here by my thumb at the panel. And then it starts closing back up as we get farther down the panel. So this door has, the lip has started rounding over, and that's not from being bumped or hit. What that is, and there's, unless you want to reskin the door, there's nothing you're going to be able to do about what caused it, other than when you undercoat inside the door. Try to get as much undercoating back here as possible. But what has happened is, if you'll look at this lip right here, you'll notice that the lip is getting real thick right here, and then when you get down here, it closes back up. So what has happened is rust has gotten inside this lip, and you know, rust is like a living organism, so it grows, and as it's grown, it has pushed this lip down, and by pushing that lip down, it has drawn the edge of this panel over. So we're going to attempt to fix that with hammer and dolly, and I'll see if I can set you up and give you a view of it. Now, chances are we're not going to be able to do a whole lot about this lip hanging down, because we just simply can't get up in there. But we'll do what we can about this, and maybe we might be able to get some of that to close up. See it rust? I don't know if you can see it, rust falling out. Metal to death. You know, like I explained, it done this because of rust. So you don't want to just pound the fire out of it. You just want to massage it a little bit. That is fairly weak right there. It's moving a lot. Alright, let's get you back up here and we'll take a look at what we got done so far. Alright. See there? And really, that's all that we want. Maybe a little bit more, but we're not going to get it perfect. We'll just have to make it the best we can. Between that metal work, a little bit of grinding with the angle grinder, like something like this. Probably a 180 grit paper or disc, maybe even Scotch-Brite. We got to keep in mind how thin that is, so you don't want to be aggressive. And a tiny bit of polyester body filler, and that'll be good. Now, could I have fixed that with body filler? Yes, I could have. Here's the problem with doing that. Had I fixed all of this with body panel, or with body filler, and brought this surface even with this surface, you would have a thick layer of body filler right here. Now, yes, that's the edge of the door, which the edge of the fender would be right here. The problem is, when you're looking, this would be in your line of sight as you're looking at the car. So you would see that gap in between the fender and the door, and you would see that thickness of body filler, and that gives people the wrong impression. You know, it gives people the impression that you know, the car is mudded together, and that's what gives polyester body filler a bad name, is people misusing it to build panels instead of flatten panels. And the truth is, if the body filler is applied to a surface that is prepared correctly, the body filler will outlast the paint. That is a fact. That's a fact. I have actually seen body filler stay in place during a car accident. I've seen metal crinkle and crack, and body filler stay intact. So if body filler is used the correct way, then it ain't going nowhere. And the truth is, there's not a car at a car show anywhere that doesn't have polyester body filler in it. Nowhere. Not if they have a show finish. Because it doesn't matter whether the panel is like this, you know, 60 years old or so, or if it's a brand new panel from a factory. It is not dead glass straight. And if you're going to have a show car finish, then you're going to have to surface that metal and get it as glass flat as you possibly can. And that's what will set your car apart from everybody else. But that's gonna do it for today. I think the video's probably been long enough. So thanks for dropping in. Leave us a like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and we will see you on the next one.